My name is Vince McIntyre. I'm 67 years old. I was born in the west of Ireland. I'm a farmer and uh, I do woodworking, various. A jack of all trades, you might as well call me. Yeah, I've lived here since 1979. I found this place by accident and decided to camp here with my girlfriend in 1979. She was a mountaineer, and we made our temporary camp here. And here, 30 years later, we're still here. I just needed. I had been living in a big wall tent, and I burnt it down, and I needed another place to camp. It feels very permanent in the sense that it feels like home. This is most at home I feel any place since I left the place I was born. So this is where I decided in the world to settle down. When Amber was, my daughter was 2.5 years old, I'd brought her up here because my girlfriend at the time, we were, both of us were homeless, and I was wondering where we were going to spend the winter. And there was an old man in Johnson's Landing. He wanted me to get him some poles for his chicken house to build, and he knew there was nice straight cedar poles up here. So I take Amber up here, and we get some poles. But in the process, Amber forgets her red shoes, So I had to bring her back up here to get her red shoes. So I brought my girlfriend up here, and I was just wanting to see how she felt about the place, and she was just totally amazed by the place. So from there, I knew it was. From there, I knew, both of us like it here. So, and then this was in October of 1979. So we wanted to make a camp, and back then I could really work hard, and we wanted to make it so it wasn't really visible or whatever because it was on Crown land. So I started digging down here, and she helped me, and we made that little downstairs place with a stove. I cut off a 45-gallon drum and put a hole for a lid and put it on the ground. That was our fire for the winter, and was putting the roof on the snow. And that's how we started here, yeah. And then the next spring, we were wondering if it wasn't too cold to grow a garden up here, so we planted. First of all, the whole feeling of being illegal, being on Crown land and not that's something we had to deal with, whether or not we were going to get eviction notice or whatever. And that kind of stayed with me for a few years, and then I got over that, and then to have that because I remember thinking when I was a child, when I was herding cows for an old lady in my neighborhood, and for me it was lonely because I was away from my brothers and sisters. I'd rather have been playing and doing other stuff. I remember thinking when I grow up I'm never going to do this, and a lot of people felt like that about that, and then when I immigrated to southern Ontario, we all worked on market gardens, and there was no Canadian kids working there. They were all refugees, Hungarians, and we were the only Irish kids there. But there was kids from away, and Canadian kids went off to the beach on the bicycles in the summer. We crawled rows. So when you have that experience and you decide you want to get away from it just was a few events in my life happened to make me realize, hey, that was a good life, and now that I appreciate that I had them experiences because they give me endurance for what I do. When we depend on an industrial system for our survival, we might protest all that and think that we're defeated and so on, but it still works, But if we want to get our power back and be able to do things for ourselves and not pay other people to live our lives for us, we have to be devoted. We have to learn stuff and stick with it. We have to. It will define our lives instead of us defining it.